Brady, it's Matt. I see we have it live streaming on YouTube.
Yep, I'm posting that link right now,
Cool.
but it'll just say for right now, just Benton Area School District until we actually start. There's a button I have to press to broadcast, so I'll wait until 6:30 to do that.
Gotcha.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Missy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
You got those puppies behaving themselves?
Yeah, I have 3 downstairs and I have the best one up here because he was crying. He's sleeping. He doesn't bother nobody.
Okay.
Hey, Dave, are you able to unmute yourself?
Does that work, Brady?
Yep, that works.
All right. Hey, that screen that we had everybody lined up on the right-hand side, where would I find that?
There should be a participants. On my screen, it's down at the bottom, but yours might be in the upper right.
Okay, I see that. It's on the bottom. Okay, Missy. May I talk to Missy if I unmute her?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dave. I can hear you.
Hi, Missy.
Hi.
Howard, I hope everything's well. Thanks for keeping us up on things. Silly question. That Brady Hess guy, I probably need a little help downloading software for a new printer, but I have to keep it a distance of like 30 feet. If there's a way, if I don't get that done between now and then, is there a possibility we could get a copy of the agenda laid out on the front step someplace? Of the administration building for the next meeting or something or other?
Sure. We can figure that out. Now Brady's gonna have it on this screen for us all to view.
Oh, all right, that helps. Cause I downloaded everybody's emails or messages. And I'm just kind of learning how to work a phone and and the cell phone with those and the computer at the same time. Missy, I appreciate it. I'm just thinking about it for next time. But
Yeah, if you want me to, well, we can ask Brady if he could print some, because he's in the building. So we can do
Okay.
that for me if you want. You just let me know, okay?
All right, well, I hope to God we don't need it, and I hope I'll figure out the computer or the printer before then. But they have actually locked our buildings. So
Okay.
thank you, Missy.
You're wel-
Appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey, George is here. Anybody hear me?
Hi, George.
Hi, Missy. How are
Hi,
you?
George.
I'm good.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure my voice was being heard.
Yep. I can hear you.
Okay.
I think that's a low baritone.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a meeting without you, George.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It wouldn't. I mean,
And we're all early too.
well, I think we said.
Well, we want to make sure that it works, so.
Yeah.
Did Bruce check his mic at all yet?
No,
I think he was on earlier, right? Right, Brady?
I'm
Yeah,
on.
Okay, good. I can hear you.
Hey, Brady, what's the live on YouTube thing in the upper left-hand corner mean?
I'm also streaming it for people that didn't want to join, that just wanted to see. So at 6:30, I'll post that on the school's website.
Okay.
I really don't think anybody's going to watch it, but
So they'll be listening?
yeah, they can only listen.
Okay. Because I didn't do my hair.
No,
I actually did mine for once because I wasn't sure. I was a little nervous, but I did it.
I've been wearing boxers for 2 weeks and teaching classes. Go figure.
Too much information, Dave. Come on.
Don't get excited there, guys. I get it. I could tell you the idiots are down trying to play at the park across from the high school right now.
Are they?
Yep. Yep.
Did you guys
Yeah,
see?
the
that they opened
police-
up- Did you guys see that they opened up how you can check it out? What zip codes have it?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
PA.health.gov. if you go onto that, you can go onto the COVID, information area. And then you go by the map, and then there's a thing about, map by zip code. Right now, Benton has 1 to 4. Millville has 1 to 4. Like Orangeville has 20 some. Stillwater has 0. Berwick has like 113. But you can check by zip code.
Ugh.
Hello.
Hi, Matt.
No. I don't know. Oh, yeah, you got to use that link that was there before. There's a new meeting ID with it. Yes. You know what it is? It was on Brady's message. If you're calling in, on my phone, webinar. The ID is 994-3427. 94-3427 3974. No, all right, 994-347 3427 3974. All right. All right.
Hey, Pete, do you just want to do a mic check so we can make sure we hear you?
Brady, were you gonna put something up on the school district, or does it just say Benton ADS monthly board meeting on the topic?
No, I'm gonna put the agenda up.
Is that what I'm supposed to be seeing right now? Oh, there we
Yep.
go. Okay.
Yeah, I can't see all of the people.
The names.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have 2 screens. What if I? Oh, perfect.
And knock
Brady,
them
if you
all,
click participants, it's like a separate pop-up button that you can keep wherever you want.
Yep.
Okay, I'm here, but I don't see how to get anywhere.
that just took out my participants and how to mute and unmute.
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom and you click participants, it'll open up a separate panel,
Okay.
and then you can mute and unmute yourself in that separate participants panel.
Okay. Yep. I had to do that again.
Bruce, you can also, if you scroll down, if you just go to the bottom of your window, the toolbar will pop up if you move, and that little microphone icon, you can mute and unmute yourself from there on the bottom left.
Split screen, Brady.
Am I supposed to be seeing people?
No.
Then I'm good.
Yep, all you should see is the agenda.
Yep, I see it.
Pete, are you still in Hawaii?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. How's the virus out there?
It's not as prevalent as you guys, but we have it.
Okay.
We have to stay indoors and wear masks and just about the same as everybody else.
Okay.
Carl, were you talking to Lance a little bit ago?
Yes, he called me. He wanted the meeting ID so he could sign on.
Okay.
I gave it to him.
I still haven't seen him join yet, so.
He hasn't called me back, so I'm not sure what he's up to. When he does get on, make sure that you unmute him.
Yep.
Because he's on the phone.
Yep.
Speaking of muting and unmuting, I think for those of us who have used this and actually are now relying on it all the time, I think you'll find that the meetings go better and there's less distraction and background noise if you default your microphone to mute and then only unmute when you want to talk. What happens if everyone leaves their microphone unmuted, or a large number, when people go to talk at the same time, it will cancel each other out. It's difficult. The microphones don't discern, and they try to let multiple people talk at once. And so you wind up with half sentences and some garbled things. And then even if someone's phone rings or something happens in the background, that will automatically default on this or on any of the other platforms. Google does the same thing. It automatically transfers to the sort of the loudest noise, I think. And it can become distracting and difficult to follow. So as a sort of a matter of protocol with these, I think it's more effective if you leave your microphone muted unless you want to participate and chime in. Okay?
Okay.
And also when it's time, and I'll say this again, but when it's time to vote, if you would say your name before your yes, no, or abstain, just so that way it's easier for Missy to take notes so she knows exactly who it is that's saying yes or no.
I think we have to do that for a roll call. I don't know legally. Can we vote by raising hands, Missy? Do you know if that works? We don't have to. I'm just curious if you can use the hand raise as a vote yes.
I don't know. I think it has to be verbal.
Okay, well, we won't upset the apple cart then.
Yeah, when I did that webinar, it seemed like everybody was doing it verbal.
Okay, then I think what Brady said is the right way to do it. Well, thank you. Thanks, Brady.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Brady.
We'll just go slow and make sure we get everybody into the vote.
Okay, I'll take my time.
Will this show Lance?
I don't see him yet on the list, but
He should show up as a call-in, even if it doesn't say his name. There should be a phone icon, just like Jill just popped up at the bottom of the attendees as a phone. It would say the same. It may not say Lance's name, but there should be a phone number or something.
Can we call him and then just have him as a voice or not? Or does he have to be shown up?
He can just be a voice. He doesn't have to be registered in this. You know, as long as we know he's there and it's recorded and Missy records him being there. So worst case scenario, if he can't get this to work, he could, one of you could have him on cell phone and put him on speaker, and I'm sure we would be able to hear him that way. But he should be able to call in. He made it work in the test last week, so I'm sure he can get it to work.
I'll step away for a minute and I'll give him a call, see how he's making
I'll
out.
give him a call right now, Carl.
Okay. I'll be back.
Carl, you could mute your microphone.
Having problems? Are you having problems or not?
Are you talking to me, Bruce?
So you're waiting for somebody to let you on the meeting?
He's talking to Lance.
No, that's why I'm calling you. So does someone have to let you on? Brady,
Yeah,
so Lance is saying that somebody had to let him on last time so he could talk?
yeah, I don't see him popping up, but maybe I actually have to start broadcasting before he can join
But how did Jill get on?
that opportunity. What was that?
How did Jill get on with her phone?
She just used the audio feature to dial in. So
Oh.
she's listed as a panelist. He's probably popping up as an attendee. So Brady, I would assume you're right, Brady. You probably have to start the meeting before attendees are allowed.
Yeah, so should I start now and we'll let him on?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, he's gonna start now and see if he can let you on. Either that or I'll call you back and then we'll put you on speakerphone. Bye.
I see Erica just got on. I tried to call Lance and I didn't get any answer on his phone.
I beat you to it.
Oh, okay.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe Lance called the number from last week's meeting and not this new number.
Can you hear me?
Brady?
yep, Lance, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I see him. He's on the attendees list now.
Yep.
Right, yeah. But I have to stay unmuted.
Okay. Okay. I think we got just about everybody, don't we?
It's 6:33 according to my watch, so I think you can go ahead, Carl, and start the meeting.
Okay. Okay, it's 6:33. I'd like to call this monthly meeting of the Benton Area School Board to order. Missy, would you please start with a roll call?
Mr. Bath,
Here.
Mr. Knaus,
Here.
Mr. Young,
Present.
Mr. Griffith,
Here.
Mr. Hess,
Here.
Mr. Lipinski,
Here,
Mr. Osborne,
Here.
Mr. Wolf,
Here,
Mr. Yoder.
Here.
Okay, we'll continue on with the Pledge of Allegiance then. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One
one nation,
Under God.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Okay, we'll start then with the recognition of individuals and presentations. As far as I know, there are none tonight, so we'll continue on. First announcement, this meeting is going to be recorded, just so everybody realizes. Brady, do you have any general guidelines you want to provide to everybody?
Yes, when you are voting, if you would say your name and then how you vote, that way it makes it easier for Missy, even though she's reading off your name. That way we can be sure that it's actually you.
Okay.
And for the public, at the end of the meeting, when it's time for public comment, I will unmute you. So that way, if you have questions, and Carl, I believe that it's a limit of 3 minutes.
That is correct.
Okay. And that is all I have. Just it's being recorded and it's also streamed on YouTube, which is linked off of our website.
Okay. All I ask is be gentle. It's my first time. Let's continue on then with the approval of the minutes. I will need a motion and a second that the minutes of the following meetings be approved. March 16th, 2020, regular monthly meeting. We'll do this by a voice vote. Missy, would you just go down the roll call list, please?
So move.
Mr. Bath,
Okay.
Mr. Bath.
Second, Young.
Mr. Knaus,
Yeah. Mr. Knaus, yes.
Mr. Young,
Young, yes.
Mr. Griffith, Mr. Griffith,
That's a yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes, yes.
Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborne,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder.
Yes.
Okay. The minutes are approved then.
Can you tell?
At this time, we'll have an opportunity for visitors to address the agenda. I'm not sure we can do that right at the moment. Can we, Brady?
We can. I will allow, we have Brian Scheib and Christina Scheib. So I'll unmute it so that way if they have anything.
Okay.
No,
Do
we're
any of the
good.
visitors have any comments to address the agenda? If you do, please keep your comments to 3 minutes. State your name and your address, please.
No comments from the Shibes.
Okay. Okay, then we'll continue on. We'll move to the business manager's report. The treasurer's report, I'll need a motion and a second that the board summary report dated March 31st, 2020 be accepted and filed for audit. You have an attachment on your computer that you should have been able to look at.
So moved. Young.
Griffith, second.
Okay. Okay. Any comments or questions about the board summary report? Okay. The only comment that I would like to add to it, Erica, I would like to see a 9-month actual and a 3-month projected summary report to bring us to the end of the year. If you could possibly put that together. I know you and I talked about that a little bit on the phone today, so you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an anticipated year-end closing. Did you get that, Erica?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. Okay. If there are no other comments, then we'll go to a roll call vote, Missy.
Mr. Bath,
Bath, yes.
Mr. Knaus,
Knaus, yes.
Misty Young,
Young, yes.
Mr. Griffith,
Griffith, yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes, yes.
Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder.
Yes.
Okay, the treasurer's report is accepted. Move on then to the approval of bills. Again, I will need a motion and a second to approve bills, the following bills. 3/16/2020 to 4/20/2020. Check numbers 86406 to 86481. And again, you've had an attachment on your computer to show what these bills are.
Wolf, so moved.
S second.
And I have some questions.
Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
How long have we been using this new printout for the bills? With it, a lot of things don't show what they're paying. Like for Bill Pasakinis, it shows that he has 7 payments were made, but it doesn't say what for. You know, the old one used to say if it was equipment or if it was coaches or whatever. And I noticed on Reinert, some of his trips are, say, either basketball or wrestling or whatever. And then there's a bill there that is for Shishi, and there's no explanation. I don't know who Shishi is. And then another one is Susan Stone. What does she do? Breon's, what's that? Great Susquehanna Piano Company. Is that payment for the rental of equipment? Is it for music? What's it for? And then there's a higher information group. I don't even know what that is. And the Lampo group, Robert Sides. We usually get music, but there's nothing there that says it's for music. And then S&J Sound skipped quite a bit from us. Those are just a few that I picked out.
It looks like this is the first month that I've seen that format. It looks like maybe it's changed in our software. A lot of the companies, some of the ones that you noted don't have the notes with them. I could tell you what some of those are just by, that's the vendor name. Susan Stone provides us, she's a reading specialist. Higher Information Group is our copy release, things like that. If you have specific ones, I can
What's Shishi?
get back to you.
Shishi? I'm just curious. S-H-I, S-H-I.
Let me look.
That is a computer company. It's SHI is the name of the company.
Okay, Shy then, I don't know. All right, that's just my
It's like a-
question. Can we get it back to where it gives more explanation?
The IU, it looks like it's a different report altogether with the format.
Right, but it really leaves a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Maybe there's a different report that we can run. I'll check into that with the IU software.
Okay, thank you.
Pete, I think you were looking at it wrong too. The like Bill Pasakinis, like the name is below what the things were. So Bill Pasakinis only had the one thing that was above his name, the reimbursement for $41.85. Those things that you were looking below his name, that's PP&L Electric, that $10,000, all those 7 items.
Yeah, but I thought they were under Bill's name.
They're under his name, but they're not
All right,
his.
I'll look at it. Don't worry about it now. I'll look at it, figure it out.
And I can tell you probably the Lampo group is a personal finance curriculum.
Oh, I had no idea.
I have that as well at my school.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. We'll leave that with Erica to take a look at and see what we can do the next time.
Yeah, if there's any specific questions on any one of the things, if it's hard to read or you don't know what the payment is to, you can email me or call me and I can go through them with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have one question or just a clarification I'd like you to make to the board members. Would you please explain how the Reinhardt bills are being processed now?
Reinhardt is with the COVID-19 situation. We are still paying for our regular transportation throughout the school year. So regular to and from school, public and non-public, all of that, we will be paying 100%. That's with the legislation for the COVID-19. The extracurricular things like field trips and sporting events and things that were canceled, those are not to be paid for. So those are canceled. But just the extras, the regular transportation will still be paid 100% for the rest of this year.
Okay. Are the board members clear on that?
Is that mandated by the state? Is that what that is, Erica?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll interject there just for a minute. That is absolutely mandated by the state. Now it is on Glenn to make sure he documents that he's keeping his employees paid, and it's a pass through.
All right. Yeah, I understand now.
That's
Okay.
that's at the state level. Glenn does have to do some paperwork on his end, but we are
Okay.
mandated to handle it the way Eric is handling it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the bills? Okay, then Missy, we'll go to roll call vote, please.
Mr. Knaus,
Knaus, yes.
Misty Young,
Young, yes.
Mr. Griffith,
Griffith, yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lipinski, Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Bath.
Bath, yes.
Okay, the motion is passed on the bills. Next item, I just put in there as a discussion item. We wanted to talk a little bit about the proposed bank loan. You all should have seen an attachment of the proposed bank loan and the terms. Does anybody have any questions about that Erica or myself could answer? Okay, then just briefly, that bank loan will allow us to consolidate our 2 outstanding debts that we have, plus provide us the money on a ability to draw to do the roof project. So that should put us in pretty good shape to take care of our roof project this year, as long as the vendor can perform it. And we'll
This is
discuss
Lance.
that more
Carl,
next
what-
month.
What is the total on that loan? Is that the 9 million something?
Yes, it is. And that includes the
Okay, thank you.
720-some thousand for the roof project.
Right, yeah. Plus the
Yeah.
2 outstanding loans.
The 2 outstanding loans that we have out there. And the interest
Yeah.
rate is about the same as we're paying now. We have to keep an eye on that because over time, that interest rate will begin to increase some, and we'll have an opportunity then to refinance it, once the financial conditions become better. Okay. Any other questions on the bank loan? All right. We'll move on with personnel. Lance, do you want to do it or do you want me to conduct personnel?
Go ahead.
Wait, Carl, you missed the
What?
whole section.
What's
Yeah,
that?
You missed the superintendent reports and then administrative. You missed page 2.
Hang on a second. I lost page 2. I actually lost it. Son of a gun.
you want me
Where
to
is it?
take it, Carl? It's Lance.
Page 2? No, I'll find it here.
It's right up on the
Should be
screen.
It's the screen in front of you on your.
No, I printed it out. That's what I'm looking at.
Carl, but yeah, if you're looking right ahead of you on your computer, it's the screen that's shared with you right now.
Okay. While I'm looking for the actual paper, I know it begins with Mr. Gefton's comments and his report. So why don't we do that? And I'll find my paper.
Yeah, okay, well, the superintendent's report, there are two main topics to touch on. The Secretary of Education, Pedro Rivera, last week issued a statement on behalf or in conjunction with Governor Wolf. It changed the guidance for what is called our COE, our Continuing of Education Plan. Initially, all districts were charged with the responsibility of creating their own plan to suit their district's needs. There were basically 3 general categories put out there. It was do nothing, do enrichment and review, or try to continue with planned instruction education. Most districts opted for the middle ground where we did. We did so to protect the equity of education and to try to reach kids as equally as possible through our plan, which was focused on enrichment and review. Obviously, since that initially happened, the governor did then close schools for the entire year. And then on the heels of that, just last week, they offered some new guidance. The new guidance was to advise schools to move towards planned instruction. Planned instruction is very loosely defined. Basically, the change for us is not really substantial because most of our teachers under the enrichment category, what they were actually doing was planned instruction. They were offering lesson plans, they were putting information out, they were putting assignments out, and then giving assessment and feedback and taking attendance to a degree based on participation and based on interaction. So really for us, it's more semantics, I would say, that we're changing to planned instruction, but we do have some teachers that we have, they've changed how they're doing things to fall more in line with what we would define as planned instruction. We revised our continuity of education plan that was resubmitted this morning. Brady and I worked on that briefly today to get us up to speed with the state. We've been in contact with Dr. Brian Gasper with PDE. He's the one who is compiling that information. So we are in compliance. We're moving forward. We did put out information. I sent letters out to the staff, faculty and staff, telling them that change. And we also posted a new letter on our website, and we had an all call encouraging people to view that. In addition to that, I posted a short video today. It's a little grainy, but the message is, I think we got across. It basically just trying to reach out to parents and students and encourage participation as we move forward. The message was pretty much, the school's closed, but school's not over. That's really the gist of it. Our teachers are working hard, and we're really trying to reach out to kids and redoubling our efforts to connect with parents to try to encourage them to get the kids to participate. That said, we're still not going to penalize kids who do not or are not able to make this transition. We will figure it out when we can get back in school, hopefully. More kids than not, and that's certainly our numbers now. We have decent participation in the younger grades. Not as much 5th and 6th, that we're working on that a little bit, but 7 through 12, I'm pretty pleased with where we are for the time that we're in. I think we can do better, and we'll continue to do better. But that's in a nutshell where we are with our continuity of education plan. The other issue I wanted to touch base on, VOTEC didn't really fall by the wayside. We finally did get a letter from Ben Pratt, their solicitor. I think you've all gotten a copy of that now. I did just send that out to everyone. I disagree personally with his assertions on page 1 of the letter about how we could withdraw, but page 2 of the letter sort of makes page 1 irrelevant. They did lay out a framework on how we could exit. I did send it to our solicitor. He's made some comments to me. I've asked him to put some stuff in writing. I think at this point, it's the general deal, so to speak, on how to exit is pretty much what I think was reasonable for us to expect. It allows us to exit and not have any real further obligation. The thing that we did ask for that they don't seem willing to give us would be a grandfather in the tuition for the kids that are there. So otherwise, it seems like they would allow us to pay off our portion of the debt and exit out. There's some other caveats in there. So I encourage you to all read over it, and we can have some comment. I don't know that we would need a session anytime soon. We may need to meet as an executive session because there is, obviously this is a legal issue, but we can do that at a later time after we get comment back from our solicitor. Does anyone have any questions about that?
On the subject of VOTEC, I think we ought to encourage our solicitor to notify them that we are not happy with going to tuition basis, because that's basically extorting $500,000 off of us over the next 3 years.
Well, Lance, I think he's going to reply to you, then stay in, pay him $2 million, get voted down on everything, and have to pay regardless of what. No, I think there's another way. I think we're just rolling over if we agree with that letter. I think what we have to tell them is that we are going to seek legal opinion as to whether what they're doing is correct. We'll take it to the courts if necessary. It's a negotiation. We can't just roll over and pay them $500,000. I don't see where you're paying them $500,000, Lance.
Well, it's $300,000 the first year, $200 the next, and $100 the following, according to Carl's calculations.
What is that calculation based off of?
It's based off of the increase.
This is Matt. It's approximately $4,000 more per year, going from about 11,000 to 15,000. If you take that times 45 kids, that's $180,000 a year extra. So I mean, we're but it's going to decrease from there too.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a sliding scale backwards.
Right.
I think legally, if you are not members of a consortium, you're asking to not be, then as a non-member, you pay non-member tuition. So you're asking for a special treatment to be a non-member, but to pay membership rate. And I think,
Yes.
I understand where you're coming from, Lance, but I don't think you can have it both ways.
Yeah, but it's a
Let's keep this
negotiation.
discussion for our,
Go
let's
ahead.
keep this discussion for our executive session, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I understand where you're coming from, Lance. I always have a lot of respect for where you've been there. And you've been through a lot with them and you know them all in different ways. And certainly I do, but let's see what Ellis has to say and we can have an executive session over it for sure.
Excuse me, if I
Okay.
may interject.
Yes, Dave.
I understand where everyone is coming from. I did read in that letter that the word negotiation was used several times.
That's my point.
And we will discuss that, but negotiation was used. I didn't like the way they left it open. You know, we approximately owe them $75-ish thousand. They didn't bring that up, and I didn't like the way in their sentence they had it stated an amount that would be determined during negotiations or at the end of the process. That is something we could look into, but I just wanted to bring that forth in this meeting.
Well, Dave, I do think that under the terms and conditions, number one is that Benton will pay off their portion of the outstanding debt. And that would be the number you referred to.
Yeah, and that's the number we want to stick to. On that, I believe the second or third page, it wasn't quite worded that way, but that could be my interpretation. But thank you
Yeah, well,
very
they do
much.
have a caveat after that saying the final figure will be provided at the time
Yes.
the terms were agreed upon. But I think that's the reference to, it's a rolling amount of debt that keeps going down based on our payments. So maybe they weren't aware of the final number. And
Okay.
we may have made another payment in the meantime from when we started this. But
All right. Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you, Dave.
This is all very good discussion, but let's hold this for the executive session, please.
Okay, I agree.
Are you finished? Yeah. Are you finished, Mr. Gafton?
Yeah, those were the main things. The other thing I just wanted to say, I think our teachers have done a real remarkable job. I encourage you all to look on our website and look at the links. We do have a lot of families that are struggling with this, but I do give a lot of credit to our teachers and our administration. I think Jen, Jill, Lindsay, Brady, they've all done an amazing job of continuing to support the teachers, encourage them, and keep, as you know, this is a very fluid situation. It keeps changing. We keep getting new guidance, and they've all done a great job of keeping especially the teachers up to speed on things. And the teachers have done an incredible job making this adjustment, reaching out to kids, and they're continuing to do so. We can always get better in a couple areas. Not everybody's hitting a home run every time, but they're certainly trying. And we have some people doing some remarkable work in the face of a very challenging transition. And they've really done a great job putting kids first and providing opportunities. And I'm pretty proud of what they're doing. And that's my report.
Okay. For some reason, I have lost my next page, but I'm looking at the computer now to see what the agenda is. Ready for
Middle
some
senior high
reason,
school principal.
yeah, my computer for the school is frozen. I can look at page 2 and it doesn't go any further. But I got
Carl,
it on
you
my
want
other
me to-
computer.
Carl, you don't control
I'm all
that.
set. I'm looking at my other computer.
That's Brady's
Okay.
home screen. He controls it. So
Yeah, I
under superintendent
know.
report, the
That's
next
fine.
line is middle senior high school principal report.
Yeah. Okay. What I'd like to do with the administrators' reports, they're all on the computer. If anyone has any questions, we will entertain questions. But I didn't want to go through the session of calling on any of the administrators to report unless they had something that they wanted to add to their report that they felt was important. So at this point in time, are there any questions on the administrators' reports that have been posted?
This is Lance. I have a question for Director of Maintenance. I want to know if there's any movement on the start of the roof project.
Yeah, Lance, we're meeting with Tremco and Dunmore Roofing at the beginning of May to make sure to our pre-construction meeting, make sure we have all our permits and everything in place and that we're ready to go.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jim, did they indicate they have the materials available or will have?
Yeah, Andy from Dunmore Roofing reached out to me. Everything's good to go. They're just waiting for us to get a PO number or the contract.
Okay. And Erica, when do you expect the bank loan to take place? Do we have the money available?
We're expecting closing to be around the 5th of May. We're still kind of finalizing doing some of the closing documents, but it should be available around the beginning of May.
Okay, very good then. Do any of the administrators have anything?
I
I'm
have a
sorry.
question.
Go
I have a
ahead.
question for both Jen and Jill. Maybe Jill, you could go first. My question for both of you is, are we starting to get prepared for next school year with the thought that it might be a disruptive school year with being maybe in and out like we're having right now, or maybe we don't start on time. Just what kind of things are we working on in terms of technology, etc. in order to get ourselves
This is
ready?
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
I wanted to say a few things anyways. First of all, I want to thank the administrative team for all of their hard work they've been doing for our kids and our teachers. Everybody's been helpful in working together to come up with a plan for, what's going on, and everything's constantly changing, and, everything's new to us, and, we're on the phone a lot trying to talk with each other on what we can do, and, try to answer all the things that come up. So I thank the administrative team for that. Brady and Jim have been great by being at the school and helping teachers and kids to get the things that they need. The teachers have been doing a phenomenal job. And to answer your question, all teachers in grades 7 through 12 are doing Google Classroom with the kids. Most of our teachers were already doing that, but our specials teachers jumped on board too. And Jill is gonna speak to her school, but we're getting on board with that at the elementary school for the grades that we can. So Google Classroom enables kids to, watch videos. All the teacher posts the assignments, the instruction there. Over half of our teachers are offering live sessions throughout the week. And I expect that to grow as the teachers become more familiar with the technology and, used to it. A lot of them are doubling up and having meetings together with live sessions on teaching the kids, answering their questions. And then kids are turning in assignments through Google Classroom to their teachers. So they can track their work through that avenue. And the secretaries have been extremely helpful in doing anything we need them to do, making a lot of phone calls. They're returning a lot of calls to people, letting us know, what we need to take care of. So that's been great. And the other thing I wanted to touch on is that I hope you saw our video, What's So Cool About Manufacturing. Our 8th grade team visited the Ribbon Factory in Berwick, and they came up with a really cool tutorial video that was voted on. They haven't announced the winners yet. So Matt, to answer your question, I think that we're definitely prepared. Should we not come back next year? The high school, we're on track to continue with Google and do what we need to do in that aspect.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, very good. Any additional questions for the administrators?
Carl?
Just a second,
Yes.
this is Pete. I just wanted to say that I have on Facebook caught a lot of the elementary school teachers doing little videos, and boy, they're really nice, and it's really keeping up with the kids, letting them know what's going on. So keep up the good work, Jill.
Thank you.
Good.
Carl?
Yes.
I also would like to thank Jill, especially in the elementary school parents or teachers and faculty, because I have familiarity with it. I just have to say, there's a lot of parents that are now working and are becoming overwhelmed, and they're seeing a lot of work and they're having a really hard time mentally trying to keep up with what they need to do, how they need to do it. And there's just a lot of information getting tossed at people. And I get it. I'm in the same boat. I understand where we are coming from. But boy, it would be nice to do some kind of parental instructional video. And I apologize. I didn't get to see today's video, but we may need to talk to some parents and calm them down slightly to say, what's due and how we need to do it and how they could be successful with their children.
Okay. We'll have to see how that shakes out, Dave.
I know it just a lot of the parents are having difficulty understanding what they truly need to do. I mean, we're speaking in our educational language, and a lot of the parents don't understand what's out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know for a fact, I have difficulty trying to keep up with Mrs. Wood's math when my granddaughter's trying to do it sometimes.
Yeah. I guess I'm talking about what's due, when something's due. And I understand we're getting, the text messages and Brady's voice messages. But we may have to do something to calm the parents down. But I applaud everybody for what they're doing from an educational standpoint, and I thank you.
Okay, very good. I add my thanks to it also, guys. Okay. Are we ready to move on then?
Yeah.
Jill,
Okay.
Jill, were you having difficulties? Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, go ahead, Jill.
Yes.
Okay, so do you want me to address any of that or no?
Yes.
Okay, so Dave, to answer your question, I've tasked all the teachers with coming up with a skills sheet to pass out on April 28th that says, here are the things that your child needs or hasn't been taught yet for the remainder of the year. And it's just focusing on math and English. And it's just letting the parents know that these are the things that they didn't get to, and then the teachers are putting tasks that go with those particular skills. Nothing is due. There's no return on anything. We're not asking people to turn in on anything, but I did get feedback from parents as well. And what I thought would be best for them was just to give them a one-pager per each grade level that says these are the things that children didn't get taught in these couple months that we're not at school. So these are the things that we should work on. So that's what I am going to be passing out on April 28th. I just wanted the teachers to work together. I was in the building all day today. I'll be in there all day tomorrow. They're allowed to come in groups of 8 so that we can get that all ironed out for the families so that they're not feeling overwhelmed about what do I do. Kindergarten has it spelled out perfectly already. If you log onto the website, you can see theirs. Theirs is up, and these are the different skills, but the other grades are working on that right now.
Jill,
Okay.
are you there?
Yes.
Okay, this is Mr. Knaus. And so my daughter's in 3rd grade, and I received that enrichment packet and everything. And I'll be honest, she knew more about it than I did once she started going through it. She was trying to show me what keys went with what and what went where. And, she's trying to break it apart and tell me what, and I was doing that with her because we don't have internet at home. And when I first received that, it was just enrichment. And now we got the phone call the other day saying that this is going to be mandatory. Well, she had a little heart attack because she's like, oh my goodness, Dad, you get a new packet in a week and I'm not nearly through all this, And, but I mean, she's working on it daily, doing sheets, and we're correcting them and going over things and reading and doing math, doing English, doing those workshops. So without having the internet and just doing the packets is like, do I turn, and I just heard you say no, but I'm gonna ask anyway. So do I turn those packets in at some time since we're not on the Chromebook thing or whatever? Or is that just as long as we continue to do it and check it and correct it? Or is this something maybe I could get a hold of Mrs. I think she's with Miss Senzel this year. And or how should, something like that? Or
No,
will this
we
be clarified on the
provided
28th?
you.
Is that what?
Yeah, so the third grade did 8 weeks worth of work on their initial packet to get kids who didn't have access to internet. So the next packet pickup for third grade is so that they have a copy of their math books for the kids that don't have internet. But you don't
All
have to turn in anything. It's just all for you to keep. And that's why they're putting the answer keys in it for the parents so that they can see what needs to be corrected or not corrected. But nothing is to be turned in.
Okay.
Hey, Jill, this is Mr. Griffith. I have a question. If like he said, if there are some parents that are having difficulty with instructing their children, is there a way that they can communicate? And this is mostly with the people that don't have the internet access. Is there a way they can communicate either with the teachers or somebody at the school that might be able to assist them?
Yes, I told anybody to email me at any point in time, and then I'll set a time up. If they need to conference with me, they can conference with me. If I need to get the teacher, then I would set up a time for them to conference with the teacher. But I mean, I've put out there, I don't know how else to put it out there. Please email me. Please email me with any parental concerns or issues. And since we've left school, I've probably had 15 parents email me.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that, mostly for the parents that don't have the internet access, because I know there's a few of them out there, and I don't want them to feel left out. And I don't know how we communicate with those people during these times, but even if we have to possibly mail something in the mail to them, letting them know.
We've talked to every single one of them, either through
Okay.
email or phone call. And if we haven't gotten a hold of them, then I've personally called those families that we haven't been able to reach. Like I talked to one today. She was just working a ton and her husband was sick, but we were able to get the packet to them. We have mailed some packets home to kids that couldn't come for pickup time. But at K through 3, every single family besides one little girl that I finally got a hold of the family today has a packet. Every single kid.
Very good, Jill. Thank you.
Okay.
And Jill, really quick here before we move on, I just want to say thank you. Those packets are very well laid out. And like I said, Lily knew exactly what to do with it, more so than I did. So it's very familiar to the kids. I mean, it's great work what they put together. And thank you very much to you and your staff there. I think that it's very easy for the kids to flop that open and say, oh, Dad, this is that, we might not understand what's supposed to be done and what's going on, but my little girl had no problem with it.
Good. I'm glad it was user friendly for her.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other administrative questions? Okay. We will move on then to administrative action. Again, I will need a motion and a second to approve the Benton Area School Board to have virtual Zoom meetings until further notice. Policy 006 will be revised to reflect this.
Bath, so
Well,
moved.
I have a
so
motion?
moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Okay. Missy, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Young,
Young, yes.
Mr. Griffith,
Griffith, yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Bath,
Bath, yes.
Mr. Knaus.
Yes, Mr. Knaus, yes.
Okay, the motion is passed then.
Okay, will policy 006 be up for resolution by next meeting then?
Yeah, we could revise it and have something available to approve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
We'll send out, we will revise it. Missy and I can work on it. We'll send it out to the policy committee via email for you to weigh in on, and then we'll bring it to the board if the policy committee agrees.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. The next thing, I did find my papers finally, but the next item, we were going to have a discussion about the VOTEC letter. I think we've pretty much already had that, unless somebody else has some additional comments. I would just ask that we keep our thoughts and our recommendations to ourselves at the moment till we have our executive session. I am waiting for a response from Ellis as to what he thinks and what he recommends that we do.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. We'll wait for Ellis's response. I think that's really the key, is to get sound legal advice.
Yes. Okay. All right. Moving on then to the athletic committee. Bruce, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I don't have anything right now, but we had had some talks about possibly doing or looking into some sort of summer leagues or something like that, but we're gonna have to see what this summer ends up being before we can kind of look at anything like that.
Yeah, I agree there. Okay.
The
Anything else,
PIAA
Bruce?
just so you know, the PIAA has effectively canceled everything. And the last meeting that I was in where that was brought up, it did not look like anything would be coming back. I agree. There was talk initially of some pushing things back and having some summer leagues, but that is fading out, that talk at this point. It may be revisited though.
I think it's getting pushed further and further into the summer. I don't think it's going to happen.
I agree with you, Bruce. I fundamentally don't think it will happen, but it's still lingering. But I think it's going to die a slow death, honestly.
Okay. Can we move on to buildings and grounds then?
Yes.
Dave, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I believe Mr. Hartcorn has answered all the questions that I had and we had.
Okay. All right. Then we'll move on to Finance and Insurance Committee.
Question.
George, before we talk.
Carl.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back on buildings and grounds, we have the opportunity right now to do some projects probably that, that may be too large for the normal summer routine. Is there anything that we want to do starting with the summer projects now?
Jim, do you have any comments on that?
The only issue that I have with it is, see, we typically have the teachers get their classrooms ready, and unfortunately, no one's had the opportunity to start organizing and putting stuff away. So without having some teachers have heart attacks at this point, we're kind of limited till we can get the staff back in here to start emptying and organizing their classrooms to get going on our summer classroom projects. But maybe we could possibly do some painting projects in the hall. This is where we don't have to move a lot of desks and teachers' equipment.
I'm talking larger projects like the water fountain situation and water situation and things like that, that, maybe we need a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, I could have, we do have some to put in, and I know we have, trying to think, Dents, I'll have to come up and schedule a time to move some stuff around, but we do have an opportunity to put some extra ones in.
Bruce, I think you'll find, well, the governor did have an address today, if anybody got an update or saw that. His plan, he was looking, we're still shelter in place till May 8th. Hopefully, if the curve flattens here, we're behind New York, but if it starts to head in that way and these things continue to work, we could start scheduling teachers to come in a few at a time, starting probably May 8th, if that's lifted, and allow them to sort of help Jim. That'll give us a a week or two out, but it's going to be, normally those teachers all do it in 1 or 2 days, all of them. I still don't think the restrictions are going to change, that we would let everyone come in and do their classrooms in 1 day. So our timeline's not going to be that far ahead on that, but we could start then, and that'll get us back on track, I think.
I just didn't know if the janitorial workers were in there working now.
No,
We're keeping everyone out. Quite a few of our custodial staff would be people who could have compromised immune type systems and stuff too. So we want to be very protective of them as well. They did a fantastic job initially cleaning the place, and our goal was to keep it clean. I think Jim's done a remarkable job.
Well, that's fine. I was just curious.
yeah, and I was trying to aim to get the staff back by like May 11th if that phase 1 is lifted. I think he said what, May 8th?
May 8th, yeah.
Yes, it was May 8th now, and they will, we'll still practice all the proper things and protocols, and again, the custodial staff did a great job initially, even understanding and practicing some of the social distancing and all within our building, and wearing masks, and and they were effectively cleaning the whole time. They did a great job. So the buildings are in really good shape to start the cleaning. Without the kids coming back, they're going to be ahead of the game. And I know they have a list of stuff that they all want to do that normally they struggle to get completed in time, but they'll hit the ground running when they come back, I'm sure.
Okay. Jim, I just have one question now that we're talking about this a little bit. How do we stand with we have one maintenance person out on sick leave right at the moment. Are you going to be all right without having that person for the next few months?
We'll be in good shape. Jeff is getting reevaluated next week, and he may possibly be back to work in May.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Good news.
Yeah,
okay.
Fortunately, without the spring sports, quite a bit of Jim and their time has been, Jeff especially, the maintenance revolving around spring sports is a lot. And so without them, we have a little bit of reprieve in the workload.
Okay. Okay, good. Very good then. All right. Are we finished with buildings and grounds then?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the Finance and Insurance Committee. George, before we talk about that motion, do you want to talk a little bit about the options that the nutrition group gave us and what your committee is recommending?
Well, they basically gave us 3 options. I don't have them here in front of me. But the best option that we thought was, and this was through the Finance Committee, was the guarantee of $2707.54. And that allows us to purchase pizza equipment and offer it daily for the kids. And we felt like this option gave us the best chance to increase our participation through the food group. So this is what we decided. I don't have those other 2 options in front of me right now, but they were basically, one was to keep going the way we were, and I forget what the other one was. But this was our best option as far as being able to increase our participation, the lunch participation in the schools. I think if you want, I think Erica may have those options with her. I don't know.
I've got them in front of me if you just want me to mention what they are.
Would you? Because I don't have them.
That's fine. Option 1 was a guarantee that at the end of the year, they would show a loss of $2,191 due to no participation changes in the program. Option number 2 was increasing the meal price by 5 cents, and they would guarantee that they would show only a loss of $821. And option 3, the one that you got on the agenda for recommendation, they're going to increase the meal price slightly by 5 cents again. And that's basically due to a decrease in the meals that are being taken. But what they're recommending is that we purchase this pizza oven for $2,700 and some dollars. And with that in mind, they're saying at the end of the year, they'll show a profit of $2,707, which to me is saying we buy the pizza oven and that should pay for itself within a year.
Yeah, that's basically why we felt this was the best option to go with. Plus, it provides another option for the kids. And one of the problems that we've had through the years with the lunches was participation rate. And I think this will increase that, and then hopefully we can get to the point where, you know, we break even on this.
Yep, that sounds like a good goal. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I need to read the motion.
You need to read the motion, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to need a motion and a second to approve to renew food service contract with Nutrition Group effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021 with a guarantee of $2,707.54. Though this budget option includes the purchase of pizza equipment and pizza offered daily at the middle senior high school.
Hess, so moved.
Did I hear a second?
Second, Matt.
Okay. Any additional discussion on that?
Canals?
Go ahead.
Yeah, when we're looking into, and I think this is a great option, it sounds wonderful, but when looking into the cost for that pizza oven, you know, I'm assuming they're either gas or electric or something. What for cost are we going to incur in order to install these? Do we have to have an outside company come in to run electrical wiring and install sub panels and stuff? I mean, if they're electrical, they're going to draw a large amount of amperage and stuff. So, I mean, we need to think about that cost too, I think.
Take the cost of the pizza equipment that they're talking about is not actually the pizza oven. It's like a self-serve, like a gas station self-serve pizza tray where the kid could just open up the case, take a slice of pizza and put it on their tray. They'll cook it in the kitchen equipment that exists. It would just involve an electrical outlet that I think Jim and his staff already looked at, so it'd be very minimal. And the quotes that they gave were $1,600 to $2,400 for a pizza oven or a pizza server, I guess, not an oven.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, an actual, you know, in the wall, big pizza, industrial pizza oven, you know, so. Okay. Oh, and while I'm talking, guys, just to let you know, my battery is slowly dying. So if I disappear, I apologize, but my phone died.
Okay. Stick with us for another few minutes.
I will, as long as it does.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about the motion? Then we'll go to roll call vote. Missy?
Mr. Griffith,
Griffith, yes.
Mr. Hess,
Hess, yes.
Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborne,
Osborne, yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Bath,
Bath, yes.
Mr. Knaus,
Canals, yes.
Mr. Young.
Young, yes.
Okay, the motion's passed. The next item I had there for the bank loan discussion, that's where I got myself out of sequence when I lost my piece of paper. Does anyone else have any other comments about the bank loan that they would like to bring up? Okay, then we'll move on to the Personnel Committee. Lance, you want to do that?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve to extend the retirement notification for teachers and staff until June 30th, 2020.
Young, second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Okay, and we'll go to a roll call vote, Missy.
Mr. Hess,
Hess, yes.
Mr. Lipinski,
Lipinski, yes.
Mr. Osborg,
Osborg, yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Wolf, yes.
Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Bath,
Bath, yes.
Mr. Knaus,
Knaus, yes.
Ms. DeYoung,
Young, yes.
Mr. Griffith.
Griffith, yes.
Okay, the motion is passed. Move on then to policy. Bruce, you have anything to add about policy?
We just may have a updated policy 006 next meeting.
Okay,
That's all.
that should be feasible to do.
Yep.
Okay. Any other comments on policy? We'll move on to negotiations. I have been talking with the Act 93 people and our committee and their committee, and hopefully we're close to coming to an understanding of the changes that we want to make to it. So I'll report on that hopefully at next month's meeting, but it's in progress. Supplies and transportation, Kathleen?
Nothing.
Okay. Textbooks, curriculum, strategic planning committee, George.
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. Technical options, Lance?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. CSIU, Kathleen?
Last month's meeting was canceled, and last Wednesday, or whatever day their meeting was our day for learning how to Zoom. So I missed that meeting, but they're also doing Zoom meetings.
Okay.
So I should make
Well,
next
it's the
month.
way
at
of
least
life now.
going.
Okay. How about Columbia Montour area VOTEC? Either Kathleen or Lance, anything to add?
This is Lance. I'll take it. At that last meeting, they started off with an executive session to discuss Benton's notification of exit. And Carl Osborg and I were there, and we were invited not to attend. We were cut off from the meeting. We objected to it, but they still cut us off. As far as I was concerned, it was an illegal meeting.
Well, when we have an opportunity to talk further with Ellis, that's something we need to bring up with him.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Lance?
No, the other things on the agenda were discipline matters, and that was about it. I got a report that they lost another mechatronics instructor, and their assistant principal has resigned.
Good. Great. All right, just for everybody's information, their meeting is tomorrow night. It'll be a virtual meeting just like this. And I would recommend that we do not attend that meeting. The reason being, I think our next conversation with the VOTEC people need to be through our solicitor.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah. Anybody uncomfortable with that position?
Well, I might attend that meeting because my son is in mechatronics, and I would like to get an update on where they plan to move farther with that program.
Oh,
That makes.
that's fine, Jake.
That'd be as a parent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, as a parent. That's fine. We just didn't want to put any one of the school board members in a position that they would be providing guidance or answering questions concerning what's going on with our position with VOTEC.
No, I just wanted to make it known that, and I'm not sure that I'm even going to Zoom in, but on the off chance I did, I wanted to make it known to the board that I may be, but it's because of the whole thing with the mechatronics and the instructor and stuff.
Thank you for letting the board know.
Yeah, Jake, that's reasonable.
So we'll.
All right, I just want to make you all aware. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will, we'll get a response from Ellis and then schedule, more than likely schedule an executive session to discuss this.
That is correct.
That
Now,
sounds good.
that brings up a question. Shall we conduct that executive session over Zoom, which I think is the only possibility we have at the moment?
Well, we can either do that or we could meet like in the auditorium or something where everyone was far enough apart. It's an executive session, so we would have a limited number of people. But we can play that by ear. If the board feels like they would rather meet in the auditorium and respect social distancing, I think we could do that. I'm very comfortable with Zoom, so I'm fine doing it this way. But if the board felt it was important to do it more in person, we could. I wouldn't expect our solicitor to come or anything like that. So other than being able to see each other's lovely faces, I don't know what we gain from the in-person meeting, but sometimes it's a little bit different, and I would respect the board or that committee. Well, it's the whole committee of the board for that would be
This
session.
This
And we
is
could have
Lance.
participation as well if you wanted to do it. I'm fine either way.
Yeah, this is Lance. I think it'd be good to do it on Zoom because that way, if we needed to talk with Ellis, we could have him come into the Zoom session.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he will attend
Yeah.
that way regardless. I would think
Yeah.
it's crucial that he's part of that meeting.
I go for the Zoom group. This is Pete in Hawaii, so I can attend.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete.
You just had
Yeah.
to get that in, didn't you, Pete?
Yep.
Well,
Probably
regardless,
the first one ever.
we would make that concession so everyone could participate. But if
Yeah.
anyone felt strongly they wanted to meet in person with a few people, we could do that as well. It's up to the board.
But let me leave it to you this way. If anybody feels strongly about wanting to meet in person, please email me after this meeting.
Well, I will let it out
Otherwise, we'll
there.
assume it'll be a Zoom meeting.
I would like to say, I do feel with something of this gravity, I do think we meet or we get more across when we're in person. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. I don't think this platform provides enough. I mean, yes, I know everyone is getting more familiar with it, but I think 20 feet away and personal is a little more relevant to this material and the gravity of this situation.
And
This is great.
that's why I put that out there. I'll tell the rest of you that I did run into Dave today at a very acceptable social distance. And we kind of talked that around a little bit about, we could actually have a meeting in the auditorium, and to his point, you could all be 20 feet away. So I understand that, and I see that point. And so that's one of the reasons I threw that out there. And thanks, Dave, for
No, it's just the how we've conducted things. We've done things together, a distance of 20 feet or 5 feet. I just don't think this has the Zoom meeting has the importance or the gravity of what we need to discuss in that meeting.
I agree, Dave. I'm with you all the way on that one.
Yeah, well, we could certainly, I would think what we'd do is we could do a hybrid. We could have, we could set it up in the auditorium or in a large meeting room. Our other meeting room is big enough, I think, too. If 4 or 5 people came, we could respect social distancing, and we could still have a Zoom for everyone else to participate. And so that doesn't exclude anyone, and I think it gives the weight for some of you. There is a difference to in-person interaction. I agree.
Yeah.
The only advantage of doing a Zoom meeting, we could have Ellis participate.
Well,
We have had Ellis participate in meetings through the computer, so I don't really see what the difference is.
He was on my
That's
phone
correct.
last meeting. He can be on Zoom with us. We've had multiple Zoom meetings with Ellis over the years. It saves us a lot of
Okay.
money. So he doesn't have to travel.
I don't think Ellis is the one that is making this decision. I think it's the board members that have to make the ultimate decision. So Ellis on a TV screen or a monitor is what we were going to get anyway.
I agree with you, Dave. But I think any board member who wants to participate in Zoom, we can set it up very easily where it's a hybrid meeting. We can
Understood.
discuss that at a later date, though. Let's get a response from him, and then we'll set up a meeting from there. And I'll set it up both ways. And I'm sure we can do it in an acceptable legal way.
Good enough.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Moving on then to new business. Do we have any new business?
No, I still have some unfinished business.
Okay,
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I hear you.
At last month's meeting, we agreed to pay the part-time people until April 20th. What's going on with that? Are we going to continue paying them? That motion only said until April 20th.
Pete, it's no longer an issue because the state came out and said they passed the legislation that everybody is paid through the end of the school year.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the governor took care of that one for us, Pete.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. How about new
Now,
business then?
what-
Anything new?
Where could we look up something about that legislation? Because I'd like to look into that personally.
It
The
was
school
on the
board,
governor's newscast. Yeah.
All right.
and I believe there's also
There
a
was a
snippet on
bill
the School
passed.
Board Association.
It was on that, yes. And there was a bill passed in the legislature. I don't have the bill number. But that is gospel.
Yeah, we have no choice in that matter.
Yeah.
I can,
I think that's-
Mr. Canals, I can try to look up the legislation number. I know I have it. I've been getting a lot of correspondence through the IU. Particularly John Correlgia is very diligent in putting stuff out regularly. And we meet at least once, if not twice a week as the superintendent's council. So let me see if I can get the legislation number exactly. But it was part of the relief. And it's, yeah, it is gospel though. As called.
It is gospel. Yep.
Well, that's pretty nice. All right, thank you.
Okay. Then we'll move on to new business. Any new business? Okay. If not, we'll open up the opportunity for visitors to address the board. And again, we'd like to limit your conversation to 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address if you wish to make a comment. And we will wait a short time to see if we have any takers from the audience. Brady, can you see that?
If I have them unmuted, so
Yes, it's Christina Scheib, 287 Hollow Road, Orangeville. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. The admin's reports that you guys have on here, is that something the public is able to see too?
They are
Are you talking about
on the agenda.
Yeah, they're on the agenda,
Yeah.
but like you guys didn't talk about them. Are they somewhere that we can read them too?
I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. You want to explain that a little bit?
Like
The-
the superintendent's report, the middle senior high school principal's
Oh,
report,
okay. Yeah.
those reports that you guys were talking about, are they somewhere that we can read them, or is it just really not important stuff that?
I would think that that would be on our website, but anybody want to chime in on that?
Well, if they're not, Missy could send them to them. The same as she sends the email to us, she could send all the board reports to them.
Yeah, I would see where there'd be any problem on that.
Okay.
No.
One question I do have is like, my son is in 10th grade. All of his stuff is still in his locker, other than like his computer. He has his computer at home, but like his book bag and stuff like that, his folders with notes and everything. Is that something that we're going to be able to get?
Yeah, Mr. Scheib, this is James Gefkin, the superintendent. What we're planning on doing, we know a lot of kids left that Friday and we didn't know how long that was going to be. What we're anticipating at this point, what we've prioritized, I should say, was making sure the kids had their computers and access. And so we try to get, if the kids left their computers, we've had some times for them to pick up. What we'll transition to now, and it may not be until May 8th, if there's something important that any child had, medication or glasses or something like that, I think most parents have reached out to us and we made those accommodations. If it's not essential stuff, if there's anything he really needs, you can certainly reach out to Mr. Hartkorn or Mr. Hess, and they can make arrangements to meet you and let you in to get the stuff. Otherwise, we're going to ask that everybody probably wait until May 8th, and then we're going to schedule probably class by class or alphabetically for families to come in for the kids to get whatever's left in their locker or in their desk.
Okay.
Some of it's that way. So we're still working on that. I know that Mrs. Shupp and Miss Allen, we had talked in our last meeting about making arrangements and reaching out to families that way to get their things. But in light of what the governor said today, I think maybe we're going to wait until the 8th and try to be respectful of the governor's wishes with it.
Yep, that's no problem. I was just wondering, and I know my son asks about his book bag every once in a while. I don't think he needs any of the notes in his folders for the work that they're giving them now. So it's not really a major issue.
Well, if he finds that he does in any way, or through interaction with the teachers, is there something that he needs out of his locker, by all means, please reach out to us and we'll make arrangements. We don't want it to hinder his ability to do anything. And it's really not a big deal. Mr. S and Mr. Hartkorn are here pretty much all day, every day. And our principals are in and out. We have other people who are coming in and out of the buildings for essential stuff and to address things like this. So we can certainly accommodate.
Okay. And I just want to say thank you for everything that the teachers are doing and the staff and the cafeteria ladies coming and giving lunches out. I'm sure it's very crazy for all of you. And I just want to say thank you from our family for sure.
Well, thank you. That's very much appreciated. And we'll share that with the rest of the faculty and staff.
No problem.
Okay. Any other comments from the public? Okay, I just want to conclude this meeting by really thanking all our administrators and our teachers for everything that you're doing. The school board does appreciate all of your efforts, and hopefully this thing will be over as soon as possible. This is a terrible way to try to do business, huh?
Agreed.
Okay, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Griffith.
Okay, it's 8:51. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Only 2:51.
7:51.
You got to set your clocks again, Pete. All right.
Thanks,
Stay
everybody.
safe. Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Yep.
Good night.
Good night now.
Pete's